Astrobot is the most popular game in the State of Play Fallout, more Sony games could be announced at Summer Game Fest, Neil Druckmann teases future projects, Sony Band is working on a big game, Metal Gear Solid Delta may launch in 2025, and more. Let's get to the PlayStation news. The State of Play from last week has seen some very mixed reviews and is making people wonder about Sony alienating the fanbase that made the brand so big. The event overall has been seen 1.8 million times and has a 67% like to dislike ratio as of recording. Can you guess where it's placed in comparison to the recent 4 State of Play or Showcase events? At the top, the best received State of Play has been the January one with a 91% approval rating, followed by last year's PlayStation Showcase with 88%, then the September 2023 Spider-Man 2 State of Play with 79%, and the latest State of Play is second to last, just ahead of the Suicide Squad State of Play from February last year with a 66% ratio. The top 5 most watched trailers were Infinity Nikki at 1.4 million views, followed by Monster Hunter Wilds with 1 million, the Concord gameplay with over 320,000, Where Winds Meet had nearly 300,000, and the Dynasty Warriors Origins trailer was close after with 282,000 views. In terms of approval, the most liked trailers were Astrobot with a 99% like to dislike ratio, then Monster Hunter Wilds with a 97%, and the Path of Exile 2 console announcement had 96%, tied with Battle of Antara and Where Winds Meet with 96% as well. Now, can you guess the most disliked ones? Well, number 1 is none other than Concord with a double badge of dishonor. The gameplay trailer has only a 10% approval in the like to dislike ratio, and the reveal cinematic has a 15% ratio. After that, Marvel Rivals follows with 45%, then the Silent Hill 2 release date trailer with 51%, and the Until Dawn gameplay with 70%. Over at the community tab, I asked you guys what you thought about it, and 63% thought it was just okay, with 27% giving it less than 3 stars and 11% on the positive side. As for games you like Astrobot the most with 55%, followed by Silent Hill 2 with 20%, Monster Hunter Wilds with 13%, and Concord with only 5%. It was not a good showing for me, even if I love the Astrobot reveal at the end, and it feels like there's an identity crisis at Sony now that they are going after the multiplayer crowd. I understand many studios are working on single player and they don't like to reveal games far ahead of time anymore, but then they should set better expectations as to what these games as a service titles are, because we knew Concord was going to be multiplayer, but I guess everyone imagined a co-op game like Helldivers and not an Overwatch. What were your thoughts about the recent State of Play? Let me know in the comments. Before talking about Sony Band's next game and Metal Gear Solid Delta, here are some quick gaming stories you can miss. Sony's State of Play may have not had many surprises, but it appears they have a few more to show at Summer Game Fest. That's according to leaker Midori, who was teasing what we can expect from Sega at Summer Game Fest this week, including Metaphor from Atlus and Sonic Cross Shadows Generations, but they also said there will be more titles from SIE Studios too. A game very likely to be revealed here is the rumored LEGO Horizon, but we'll see if they have anything else up their sleeves. We already knew that Astrobot was aiming to be a huge game, but now we have more details from the PlayStation website, where Sony says the game will have over 4 times more worlds, 300 bots to rescue, and over 150 iconic VIP bots inspired by legendary characters from the 30 years of PlayStation history. It also confirms it's a full standalone single-player PS5 title, so it won't have any multiplayer or PSVR 2 compatibility. It also won't have any type of microtransactions, and just in case, it's not free like Astro's Playroom. PlayStation PC fans are also not happy with the latest State of Play, since both God of War Ragnarok and Until Dawn require a PSN account to play, despite being complete single-player titles. And while they didn't say anything about Concord, that one will obviously have a mandatory PSN requirement. This follows the whole Helldivers 2 and Ghost of Tsushima controversies, where both games were delisted from non-PSN countries, so already the sales for these two single-player games will be limited due to this rule. Neil Druckmann has teased the future of Naughty Dog in a new interview with LA Times. Hopefully he's not being misquoted this time. Druckmann promised that they won't be a Last of Us studio forever, as they have numerous games in the works, including multiple single-player projects. We know one is supposed to be a new IP, and the second one is likely a Last of Us Part 3. What do you hope is the third one? Drop your predictions in the comments. Next, Sony is still quiet about Sony Band's next game, but it appears the former Days Gone director Jeff Ross knows a bit about it, as he tweeted that whatever the game is, Sony has spent at least $250 million, something he believes is crazy to think about given Sony didn't want to fund Days Gone 2 at about $150 million. Ross has previously vented his frustration that new PlayStation CEO Hermen Hulst hated Days Gone, given they already had a successful zombie IP with The Last of Us. As for $250 million, it's not really that crazy given Horizon Forbidden West was $212 million and The Last of Us Part 2 was $220 million, so that puts the next Sony Band game a bit ahead of those in terms of project scope. What would you like the next Sony Band game to be? Voice your thoughts in the comments. Now let's talk about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, because Sony had the game listed as a 2024 game in a trailer at the beginning of the year, but Konami may be pushing its release date into 2025. Metal Gear Solid Delta appeared last year in the PlayStation Showcase in May and an Xbox Partner preview in October, but it was missing from the recent State of Play with Konami focusing on Silent Hill 2. Now reliable leaker Bill Kun has said the game may be pushed into 2025, given that a global retailer has a placeholder for the game of December 31, 2025, but they couldn't confirm a delay with a second source. Despite that, the leaker said the game's launch details are expected to be announced within the next 10 days, possibly on June 6 with pre-orders opening soon after. The game is said to be getting a standard edition for $70 and a collector's edition for $200, but the contents for the latter are unknown at this point. I would say maybe on Summer Game Fest on June 7 rather than June 6, but I agree that maybe we won't see the game until early 2025, and that gives Konami the chance to go all in into Silent Hill 2. Are you looking forward to Metal Gear Solid Delta? Will it launch in 2024 or 2025? Let me know your thoughts about that and any of these news in the comments below. If you want more PlayStation and gaming news, remember to subscribe and hit the bell to never miss an episode. You can also check out the previous video with a full recap of every announcement from the most recent State of Play. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.